My name is Manisha Desai, and I'm at the University of Connecticut.
And I am Zakia Salime, and I am at the university, or at Rutgers University.
To me, primarily, doing sociology really means working for social justice to kind of transform the unequal social structures within which and power relations within which we live.
And to me, I did not come to sociology from like a lot of other people here in this conference. I did not come to sociology from a place of comfort, but from a place of discomfort. So to me, sociology is the place where I was thinking of being able to make a difference and to have an impact.
In my everyday work, so my areas of research and study are social movements, particularly global justice movements, transnational feminism, and gender and globalization. So I constantly, first of all, try to provincialize the US, meaning say that the US is part of the world, that it's not the center, kind of demarginalize, kind of help students to see the connections of things that happen elsewhere to what's happening to their lives and on a day-to-day basis, from what they consume to the ways in which their consumption leads to certain kinds of labor practices outside the United States. And so those are the kind of ways in day-to-day practice that I bring what I do into my classrooms, but also into working with my students.
Yeah, just to carry on this, to me it's very essential that my students understand their own role and their own impact on what's happening around them, what's happening here in the United States, and what is the connection between what's happening here in the United States and what's happening around the world. And I think sometimes those connections are missing in the way we teach sociology, in the way we think about sociology as typically about the United States, as if the United States was isolated from the rest of the world. And to me this is very important, an important mission, if I could call it mission, of a sociologist who works not only on the global south, because I don't want to position myself in the global south, but who works at the intersection of what's happening in so-called northern industrialized countries and what's happening in the global south.
Well, as I said, my work in sociology really, first of all, awakens students to understand their own position and the ways in which they contribute both to social inequalities, but also to social justice. So I think my work helps them to, first of all, think about themselves as actors, as important actors, shaping what's happening in society, and then to think more critically of ways in which they can actually work towards making a more socially just society. So kind of my work directly helps them both to become aware of their own agency as actors, but also the ways in which they can then work collectively to transform some of the things.
Yeah, it's just to help them, help the students be aware of their collective power, not only as individuals in terms of their individual agency, but also as a collective. In their own communities, in the communities in school, in their community outside of school, but also in their workplace. To be aware that if they are managers tomorrow, there was something called labor rights. So it's really the question of social justice globally defined. And all my teaching and my work as a sociologist is focused on the questions of social justice.
Well, I think the first advice is that you can do it, that it's not, binary, that you either do this work or, you have to go earn a living, because you can't earn a living while doing social justice work. And there were just, wonderful workshops yesterday talking about what can one do with a sociology major. And sociology major gives you skills that you can take to a lot of different kinds of job situations. And actually one of the findings which we know is that most sociology majors, almost I think something like 60 to 70%, end up in the so-called, quote, I hate using the term, but service professions like social work or, counseling or criminal justice or NGOs or work of that kind. And so I would say to students that if you want to see a better world for yourself and for everyone else, sociology might be a good place to start.
Actually, most of the students we have in our classrooms are coming to sociology because there is a call, because they really feel like this is a place for them to be able to make a difference and to produce a change. So there is a gap between the way in which we envision sociology as scholars and the needs of students and the demands coming from students who are coming to the sociology department because they are looking for exactly this type of teaching and this type of reading, and they are looking for to feel empowered by a scholar who is telling them, well, this is exactly sociology. Your perception of sociology is what I think sociology should be.